Hi, today we're going to be talking about chicken pot pie. Everyone's favorite, right? We all love that rich, creamy center. Well, my name is Christine, and I'm going to share with you 4 tips that are going to help you to achieve that goal of that perfect pot pie. So let's just get in here and get started. So as you can see, I've gotten us started here. I've put in 2 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of sodium-free chicken broth. I have 4 chicken thighs, a little bit of thyme, just a smidge, just to get some little bit of flavor going in here. And our tip number 1 is going to be 2 teaspoons of a chicken broth powder. Now you can find this in any grocery store, but it's just going to really amp up our flavor. Now you can see that this is cooked down quite a bit. It's wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove our chicken. Beautiful. So what we're going to do is just let this cool, and then we're going to start to shred it. So I'm just going to set that aside. Now here, this is our poaching liquid, and we are just going to cover this back up. And again, we're going to set this to the side. So we've got our poaching liquid set aside. Now what we're doing is we're melting 3 tablespoons of butter. And to this, we are going to add our onions. Now I've got there we go. I've got a whole onion. And this is going to cook down, so it may look like a lot, but it'll cook right down. So we have an onion. And really, this is garlic. Really, all you want is maybe 3 cloves. I put in a little bit more because my husband loves garlic, but the average person probably 3 cloves. And so we're just going to let this brown and come together a little bit. I love the smell of onions and garlic. It's got to be the best. Okay, you can see our onions are nice and softened. So what we're going to do now is we add 3 ribs of celery. Get that mixed in there. We're going to put 2 nice-sized chopped up carrots. And we are just going to mix this together. Okay, we'll just give it a couple minutes. We've been letting this cook now for about 3 minutes or so. And this is going to be our tip number 2, where the fun really starts. We are actually going to add a 3rd cup of white wine. Now, if you've never cooked with wine before, sizzle a second. It's not adding a wine flavor. As this cooks through, we're actually cooking the alcohol out of it. So you're going to let it cook until you don't smell it anymore. So what that wine has done is actually broken down the proteins in all of our veggies, and it smells wonderful. What we're doing now is I am going to put in 1/3 cup of flour. Now this is going to start to look a little bit sludgy, not attractive, but it's going to be wonderful. So we're just going to mix all this up, get it all blended. Okay, we're just going to do this for about 1.5 minutes just to get things all mixed together. The smell is just amazing. And so far, it's not a whole lot different from other recipes, but the flavor that these few little things are doing, it's just amazing. Now we have our poaching liquid from earlier. And what we're going to do is just pour in about half. So let's see what we get here. I'm going to stir this all up. There we go. That looks good. And we're just going to stir this up, scraping the bottom. We want all that good stuff in there to come out. So we're just doing this for about a minute or so. Let all those flavors incorporate together. Add the rest of this. And see, it's gonna be quite thick. But I'll tell you what, you've got all those flavors from that chicken being cooked in there. It's amazing. So I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit. All right, we're just gonna let this go. Now for tip number 3. This one, you have to trust me, it does not add any flavor, but the creaminess is just amazing. What we're gonna do is we are going to add a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Yes, there we go. And in with that Parmesan cheese, I actually just added a little bit of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. So we had our chicken set aside, and what I've done is actually shredded that up, so it's all ready to go in. Let me grab that real quick. All I've done is really just shredded this with my hands. I'm not fancy with it. Mix this in. So we're gonna do a cup of frozen peas. Oh, and they're stuck in there. There we go. Let's get those out of there. I love my peas. Okay, perfect. So we're just gonna mix this up. And I'll tell you, by poaching, using that liquid, that meat is so full of flavor already. Everything is just saturated. You really will be able to tell the difference in this. The thing to remember is however it looks at this point, that's what you're gonna get when you break into your pie. I think this looks great. So we're gonna set this aside, and I am gonna prepare my little pots. Okay, so we are done with our filling, and now it's the fun part. You can make a regular pie. I choose to use these. I just think they're adorable, and because it's only my husband and I, we each get one, and the rest I put in the freezer, because really when you see this and you taste it, it's good on its own. But if you are in a rush one day, you don't have time to really cook, you can just pull it out of the freezer, throw it on some mashed potatoes or over some rice, and you have an amazing meal. So let's get started here, and we are gonna fill our little pots, and I'm gonna show you how to put dough, our pastry, on the top to make a wonderful crust. They're just beautiful. I can't wait to show you. Okay, so I've angled my camera because I want you to see what I'm doing here, not so much me. Let's see, so we are gonna really fill these up. I'm gonna do one so I can show you how adorable these are gonna be. Let's really fill them up. And like I said before, this is how the gravy in here is gonna be when it's done. It really is just beautiful. So there we go, we have that. Now we're gonna take our dough and lay it on top, and see how it hangs over? Some people like the crust. Like my son, he doesn't. So it's easy for him to just pop this off and he's done. I love it. So I take it all off and shove it all in there, and oh, it's wonderful. So there you go. Whoop, wrong way, ha, sorry. There we go. Let's pat that down. And to make it really pretty, let's see. We can just trim it up a little bit. Can you see that? We'll just trim it up right here a little bit to see the pot. And there you go. Doesn't get any easier. And when this comes out, I'm just gonna put a couple slits up top. It is just amazing. You will not regret having to do a few extra little steps when you smell and taste the finished product. So let's see, I'm gonna do the other one. And I'm gonna pop them into the oven at 425 for about 35 minutes or so. And I will show you exactly what they look like when they come out because they are adorable. Okay, we have both our little pies ready. Now what I'm gonna do is just take a little egg wash. All this is 1 egg with a tablespoon of water. There we go. We're just gonna brush this all over the top and the sides. This is just gonna give us that nice golden crust. Okay, well, our little chicken pot pies are out of the oven. They smell wonderful. And as you can see, the crust has gotten to a beautiful golden brown. Okay, I cannot wait any longer. This smells amazing. Let me just get a little taste here. Oh, I love the crust. Please try this. You will not be disappointed at all. I'm gonna leave the recipe in the box below, and different times for different pots and pans you may, I say pots and pans because you can do anything you want, but different times and bake times and things like that. Please press the subscribe button and we can move on over to the next video and I will join you there. I'm gonna finish eating this.